What a last drive that was for the Eagles, coming up short in Arizona today. And if you're joining us now, your heart is probably still pounding. My stomach is in my throat, or whatever that expression is. That was intense at the end, and honestly, a lot to like about it. A loss, of course, not what we want to be talking about here, but really a lot of exciting football today for the Eagles as they fall to the Arizona Cardinals 33-26. Thanks for joining us on the Postgame Show. I'm Amy Campbell, as always joined by Fran Duffy and Ike Reese. And guys, we have a lot to break down in this one. Ike, I will start with you. What are your initial thoughts that are forming here from this Eagles loss today?
Well, it's got to be rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts, Amy and Fran. I mean, it's been the third game in a row that we've gotten a chance to watch him play, his second straight start. And to be quite honest with you, he's gotten better and been more impressive each time he's been out there on the field over the last 3 weeks. Starting in that fourth quarter versus Green Bay, where he lit a spark and almost brought them back in that game, to the big win over New Orleans last week at home, going up against the #1 defense, to this game today, that even though there was defeat at the hands of the Arizona Cardinals, my biggest takeaway from this game was that Jalen Hurts, in just his second start, was ready to go toe-to-toe with one of the premier young quarterbacks in this league, and Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals, two former Oklahoma Sooners. Jalen Hurts, I mean, today he brought the wow factor. And I mean, he brought the wow factor with his legs, not really with his arms so much, but to me, with his, not with his legs as much, with his arm today. Some of the throws that he made, some of the tight windows he was able to fit the ball into. I just thought he did a real nice job of continuing to grow at the quarterback position, and really did a nice job today giving the Eagles a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Ike. I felt like he was accurate. Poised, of course, has been a word that's been associated with him for a long time, but we saw that today. 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. 2 of those passing touchdowns were on 3rd down, 1 on 4th down, unshakable, unflappable. And I think one moment that I'm going to be watching again and again and really thinking about with Jalen Hurts is that last drive that he kind of drops the ball, picks it up, and still delivers the dime to Dallas Goedert on the sideline. Goedert getting out, stopping the clock. I mean, that is precision right there that you want to see. I think a lot to look forward to with his development, whatever that becomes of. Fran, what did you think about the performance we saw from the Eagles offense today? And another thing another caveat before I come to you is just the confidence that you felt like the coaches had going for it on 4th down multiple times, the confidence to say, okay, we're going to be able to execute on offense and impose our will against this Arizona defense.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to maintain that aggressive nature that we know Doug Peterson has on 4th down was certainly good to see. Guys, I'm looking at this from a 2-week kind of viewpoint, right? Because last week against the New Orleans Saints, what happened in the first half for the Eagles? The game flow, the game script went about as you would hope, as best case scenario as you could hope for Jalen Hurts in his first start. You had the big play, the 82-yard touchdown run by Miles Sanders. You had an interception in opponent territory that had set up a field goal. You had a busted coverage on a Jalen Reagor catch and run that helped set up points. What happens if that doesn't happen, though? What happens if you have to bounce back in a game? What happens when you hit the mat and you have to fight back? I thought we saw that in this game. 2 really ugly series to start, right? I mean, the Eagles go 3 and out to open the game twice. You take that safety. There were some bad sacks in this game. There's plenty of negatives for Jalen Hurts to walk away from and try and watch the film with. But to me, to your guys' point, looking at the big picture and say, how did he bounce back in this game? What are the poise that we saw, the calm from him, even late in the game? Maybe that play, you're spot on. That play where he drops it in that scenario and is able to roll to his right and still find Dallas Goedert. I mean, that's the kind of mentality you're looking for in a quarterback, and certainly something that we got to see a lot of really good things from Jalen Hurts in this game. To me, that is the thing that's going to stick with me, is just the poise and the calm we saw from him in his first road start.
Look, and you talk about that bouncing back. The Eagles started down in a 16-point hole, 0-16, before the offense really started to get going, like you mentioned, Fran. And look, there were a lot of things to overcome in this game. You felt like, in a lot of ways, it was there for the taking. Arizona wasn't necessarily the most disciplined. They turned the ball over a few times. They put it on the ground a few times. But there were some penalties for the Eagles. And, of course, I think one thing that we can really focus on today that was really hurt this team, Ike, was the loss of Cam Johnston, the punter. And we saw that affect them, of course, in the punting game, but also he was the holder for the extra point. He would have been the holder for the extra point there, and that they ended up missing the extra point. So I think that possibly, there were many things to overcome in this one, and I think that one also should get some attention.
Yeah, that was big time, Amy. I mean, we sometimes don't notice how important a guy like Cam Johnston is to this football team, because he's usually doing his job as a punter, as one of the best punters in the league. He gets a little unnoticed. But his other important job is being a part of that field goal extra point unit, that three-man unit between Rick Lovato, Cam Johnston, and Jake Elliott. They really rely on each other. And you noticed when he was out for that extra point, you noticed it immediately that the timing was off with the placing of the snap and being able to get that ball down so that Jake Elliott could put that extra point through. And you saw how that affected the game as it went on. So, and it also may have had an impact on Doug's decision to go for it on fourth down as well. So, I mean, you certainly hope it isn't a long-lasting injury. You hope that he's going to be back next week. But you saw in just a short period of time in the second half today where a guy like Cam Johnston, his role on this team is far more important than just punting the ball.
Well, and look, it was the injuries in many different groups, of course. The offensive line, the secondary coming into this one was one conversation that we were going to be watching. Kyler Murray passes for over 400 yards. We'll continue to break that down. But let's bring in the Eagles insider, Dave Spadaro, to get your takeaways on this one. Dave, what did you see? What are your initial thoughts on this one?
Well, I'd like to expand on the Cam Johnston injury, because it wasn't just Cam Johnston. The special teams had a bad game, allowing a blocked punt. The poor snap from Lovato, it wouldn't have mattered who the holder was. Zach Ertz had no chance on that. Return game again in the kickoff game. The Cardinals wanted Boston Scott to return the kicks. He averaged 18.5 yards per return, so the Eagles didn't get good special teams, get good coverage off the kickoffs, field position off the kickoffs. Special teams just not getting it done today, and it cost the Eagles. I want to talk about the defense a bit. I mean, Jim had very few options here, so he stopped the run. He contained Kyler Murray and his legs. I thought the defensive backs battled. DeAndre Hopkins is a special talent, and it's something that the Eagles need to strive for, is to get a special talent at wide receiver, somebody who makes a difference in games like DeAndre Hopkins did today. But I give Michael Jacquet and Seymour and all those, Marcus Epps, they had two takeaways there. They battled. I give them a lot of credit for that. Sometimes you just can't beat talent. And then Jalen Hurts was sensational. And again, we talked about this before the game. To judge a quarterback in the NFL, you have to win from the pocket. And Jalen Hurts was excellent for the most part in the pocket today. 6 sacks allowed, too much, but he really showed that he can throw the ball down the field. A couple of times I wish the Eagles went down the field a little bit more and tested Patrick Peterson more, because he clearly is not an elite cornerback any longer. And Alshon Jeffrey, who we've all wondered, what is Alshon Jeffrey doing on the roster all season? He had a very strong game today. So, and a little reemergence there of Travis Fulgham at the end. So, tough loss, one that's really critical to the playoff chances for the Eagles. But there are a lot of good things that come from this game, starting with number 2. Jalen Hurts took that next step for me in his first game, where a team kept him in the pocket, even though he had 63 rushing yards. For the most part, he had to do it from the pocket, and he did.
Dave, just kind of compounding off the points that we were making earlier about just the poise and the calm from Jalen Hurts and his ability to kind of fight through that adversity early on. Talk about what did you see from that end of it?
Yeah, I agree with what everybody's saying. He's a cool cat, and he's got a really good pocket presence, and he's very aware of things that are going on around him. He does not panic, and that's a wonderful trait to have for a young quarterback, for any quarterback. So I really liked Jalen Hurts in start number 2 against a good, not great, but a defense that gives you a lot of different looks. So the mental part of it for Jalen today was also an important plus in his game. So, again, coming back from 16-0 down, it was a terrible start for the Eagles, and he brought him back calm and kept an urgency about him, and even the run to get into the end zone. All right, he's a physical runner. He's not Taysom Hill. He's not a 250-pound back. He's a quarterback who he's going to have to stop taking hits. Let's be honest. But he had the toughness to get into the end zone. Merrill Reese compared him way back when to Dak Prescott, and I guess I kind of see that. I see the mobility, I see the arm, I see the leadership, the poise. If you're going to style somebody and kind of compare him, that's not a bad comparison there. But 3 touchdowns, red zone success. Eagles were 3 of 4 in the red zone in this game. They had 2 shots at the end of the game. In the final 2 minutes, think about this. They had 2 shots in the final 2 minutes. First on the 2 passes to Goddard that fell incomplete. That one was so close. And then coming back and giving a couple of opportunities on the 30-yarders into the end zone. That's big-time stuff. That's a quarterback who understands clock management, who gets everybody set very quickly, who processes things extremely fast. Tough loss, but a lot of good in this, and Jalen Hurts leads the way. I can't say enough good things about him other than the only crime today is that the Eagles didn't beat the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, you said pretty much everything that needed to be said about him right there, Dave. I don't know how much more I can add to that, except that I find it impressive that when I watch the coaching staff and I watch Doug and how much they are giving Jalen Hurts to do out there on the field, you got to be impressed with how much the rookie is able to handle. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's too much that's on his plate. He's able to handle pressure packages. He understands the hot reads. I like what they're doing with him in the passing game. I thought it was expanded this week against Arizona. It was needed, and I thought he executed well through throwing the football today. And it certainly seems like the coaches aren't holding back as far as what they're giving him to work with, and he seems to be responding well to that.
I agree. It is. You always wait for that. When is this moment going to be too big for Jalen Hurts? And it hasn't happened yet. And I also want to say this. I guess I didn't follow him that closely in college, and we didn't see him in preseason games. And I wondered about his passing mechanics. I kind of looked at him as a college player and was like, I'm not sure if he's that great a thrower. And I really would like to know. I'd like to compare side by side Hurts throwing the football at Oklahoma last year and how he looks now from just a mechanics standpoint, because the rap on him was that he really wasn't a good thrower. He wasn't a great thrower. And it seems to me that the mechanics are there. The release is quick. He doesn't get a lot batted down at the line of scrimmage. He threw high a couple times today, but that's going to happen. For the most part, he puts the ball in the right spots. And so I guess I have to give Eagles coaching staff some credit here, and Jalen as well, because all these weeks when he wasn't playing, he was clearly working on improving his craft and improving his mechanics. And he was taking what was happening in the film room, and he was taking the mental reps in games very seriously, because for a young guy to come into the action, 12 weeks into the season and get caught up to speed right away, and you see the life in this Eagles offense, and you see the energy in this Eagles offense, that is extremely impressive. So this kid is off to a terrific start, and Aqib Talib, as he was stumbling his way through the analysis of this game, hit on something right and really earned the respect of a Pro Bowl cornerback, saying that Jalen is going to be a big-time player in this league, and he certainly is showing consistency in those glimpses. He's been really good for 3 games.
Look, all over Twitter, Dave, throughout this game, we saw mixed reviews on Aqib Talib. I thought it was awesome. I thought he was wildly entertaining, hilarious, and of course that suit was fantastic. A+. I would listen to him all day. Let me ask you about the Eagles defense. One of the big storylines coming into this one, of course, was the secondary with all the injuries and Arizona's offense, DeAndre Hopkins and the passing game, all of those weapons on the outside. Hopkins, of course, had an amazing game today, but like you said, special talent. Really not a whole lot you can do against a guy that good. Some of the catches he was making were absolutely jaw-dropping. What did you think of Jim Schwartz's game plan, especially with the secondary and how he used those guys on the outside and how they performed?
Yeah, honestly, Amy, it kind of played out as we all talked about before the game. The Eagles needed to score points. They knew they were going to give up some big plays to DeAndre Hopkins. The Eagles kept everything in front of them, and it still just wasn't enough because Hopkins is such a special talent. And I give Kyler Murray credit too. He threw the ball very well from the pocket, and the Eagles had to vary their pass rush. They couldn't. They mixed it up. They brought some blitzes here and there, but the focus was on keeping Murray in the pocket and playing coverage on the back end. And Jaquette and Seymour and Epps and I thought Nickel Roby-Coleman had a strong game, a physical game, but he's 5'10", so it's tough to go up against a physically imposing players like Larry Fitzgerald and DeAndre Hopkins, and you see the strength on that last touchdown, the strength in the hands of DeAndre Hopkins to make the catch, to hold on through, to get to the pylon was a thing of beauty. And I just, you look at it and you go, hey, this guy really is a special player. And as you want to build the Eagles roster, and Quez Watkins showed up today, was impressed with him, but I would love to get that beast of a guy who can run, who can catch, who can change a game, who is uncoverable as DeAndre Hopkins is. It has made such a big difference in the performance of Kyler Murray. And you look in the big picture here for the Eagles, whoever the quarterback, whatever happens to quarterback in 2021, it would be great to have that really dominant wide receiver. The Eagles did a nice job working it down the field against Patrick Peterson, but still, you want that big beast to go over the middle, to make plays, to beat double coverage, to be a red zone unstoppable force in the big picture. That's what you'd love to have with this offense.
Dave, you mentioned one name that I wanted to bring up to you in Quez Watkins. And I don't want to, obviously, we're tempering expectations here. I don't want to go nuts with the performance, but showed a little bit of juice today, and I thought it was great. His second career catch, he goes 32 yards to the house down the left sideline. Even Aqib Talib did mention, look at the speed on that, even on just a little bubble screen for a couple of yards. What did you see from Quez Watkins? And, excited to kind of see him moving forward as well.
Yeah, we have watched John Hightower ups and downs in his rookie season, okay? You get that opportunity to play. Sometimes you don't take advantage of it. Quez today took advantage of it. He is very fast. He needs to get stronger. He's a skinny guy. So if you can add some bulk to him, that would be great. But certainly there's a weapon there. There's a weapon with Rager. Travis Fulgham came back into the mix a little bit. That's exciting to see. So I liked it. I liked getting the screen game going a little bit, Fran. It hasn't been a big part of the Eagles' offense this season. Today, it worked with some success. So I thought the game plan was a good one. I thought the Eagles were able to give Jalen some time to throw the football, and he was able to distribute the football very nicely. And again, 26 first downs, 422 total net yards, 3 of 4 in the red zone, 26 points scored. Not enough, but these are all encouraging signs moving forward. Now, I don't know if Doug's going to name Jalen Hurts the starter next week against Dallas, but it would be hard to see him not starting with the 2 starts that he's had, the performances that he's had, putting up big plays, putting up points with this Eagles offense. But I like Quez, and I like to see more.
Yeah, you could. I think they said Quez was the one who got the nod because Jalen Hurts had a better connection with him, and you saw that, of course, today with that touchdown, like you mentioned. All right, Dave, thanks so much for the insight. We will let you go for now.
All right, guys, thank you.
All right, Ike, let's get into your takeaways.
Well, we just continue to talk about the man of the hour, Jalen Hurts. I think each game that we've gotten a chance to watch him, we get to learn more and more about him as a player. Watching him a few times in Oklahoma, watching him a few times early in his career at Alabama, you don't get a true sense of what a guy can do until you get a chance to see him at this level. And this year has been a little weird. No preseason for any of these guys. So we didn't get to see Jalen Hurts in any extensive action other than a few plays here or there. Watching him over the last 2 weeks, he continues to impress. The future looks bright for him as an individual moving forward. And I think as Eagles fans, it just makes you want to see more and more of what you have there from him at the quarterback position. We've talked about the poise in which he's played with. He accounted for 4 touchdowns today. Again, no turnovers, had a few sacks. Obviously, there are things that he needs to improve upon and that he's going to learn from as he continues to play. But if you just look at the early returns on him as a player, man, I don't think you can ask for much more than what we've seen from Jalen Hurts over the last 2 weeks. Just another game, another impressive performance. Dave mentioned the offensive numbers, over 400 total yards, 20-something first downs. The fact that they came back from being down 16-0. I mean, we all know any other point in the season this year, this team goes down by 16. The likelihood of them coming back in that game just isn't really going to happen. And you can tell that Jalen Hurts, in this sort of youthful way, has brought this youthful energy to the team, and it seems to be infectious to the rest of the guys. And so they have this never give up, never say die type of mentality and attitude with him at the position. So I, like everyone else, just wants to see a little bit more every week and see where he can grow from here.
Well, yeah, I think it was really fun to watch. When I see a young quarterback come into the league, a rookie, I'm always looking at especially the second game and then their second year, because I think a lot of times there isn't film on a guy, a defense doesn't quite know what they're going to get. So to me, the performance that he gave today almost speaks more than against New Orleans, even though New Orleans does have a better defense, because now there's film on him. And of course, I'm going to be looking to see more and more, does he continue to develop? Because that shows me a lot more than perhaps the luck of the element of surprise. Let's talk a little bit about his numbers real quick. Completed 24 of 44 passes, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns along with that rushing touchdown. He also rushed for 63 yards in this one. Here you're looking at the box score. A lot of offense in this game, almost 1,000 yards of offense between these two teams, and a lot of points as well, which is what I was expecting going into this one. One more thing for Jalen Hurts: completed passes to 9 different, not all receivers, but to 9 different players on this team. Fran, let me come to you. What did you think about the game plan for this offense with Jalen Hurts and just the different things that this coaching staff put together for today?
Yeah, I thought last week they did a great job against New Orleans of really kind of scripting things out. You saw move the pocket. You saw 5 or 6 screens last week. You saw obviously the quarterback-driven run game with all the different option elements, and I thought that continued to today. And honestly, that's what I expected. I expected a similar kind of game plan, play into his strengths, kind of remove the situation from some of his weaknesses, right? You're not going to ask him to go drop back and go progress from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 across the length of the field like you would, someone like a Carson Wentz. So you're going to try and change things up a little bit from what you did earlier with Carson to what you do now with Jalen, and they're playing to his strengths. Now, I think that's good coaching. So just watching them continue to construct this game plan has been really fun to watch.
All right, let's keep going, Ike, with your takeaways. What do you got next?
I know you just mentioned, Amy, it was almost 1,000 yards of total offense in this game. But believe it or not, the defense did make some good plays out there today. So I thought the defense, although they had a bend but don't break mentality, they were down several of their key starters, including Darius Big Play Slay. So you knew Arizona and Kyler Murray would be able to move the football. But the key was going to be, can they get turnovers? Can they steal a couple of possessions away from this Arizona offense and help out this Philadelphia Eagle offense? And that's what they were able to do. So to get 2 turnovers down in the red zone, this game could have very easily been 40-plus points for the Arizona Cardinals, thus putting more stress on your offense to have to try to keep up. The fact that they were able to get 2 turnovers down there, I thought it was huge for this team. And I didn't think Kyler Murray was able to run around as much as he has in the past. I know he ran for a touchdown and he was able to do some things, but I thought for the most part the Eagles made him play the game from inside the pocket, and I thought they forced him in some errant throws. So considering they were undermanned and didn't have some of their best players in the secondary, you got to give the Eagles a little bit of a pass. 2 big turnovers. I think they did enough to give themselves a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I was actually quite impressed. Oh, and Coach Peterson is ready to speak to the media. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking the time. We'll get started here with Jimmy Kempski and then Jeff McLean.
Hey, Doug. Jalen obviously played well today and put the team in a position to win a high-scoring game. But what were some of the things that you thought he did particularly well, and would you project him to be the starter next Sunday?
Yeah, I thought he had great poise out there, great leadership. Played obviously physically tough, mentally tough. Made some really good throws down the stretch, especially in the second half when we kind of had to, put a couple drives together. So, played well. Played really well. Take care of the football. I mean, those are all things we talk about, and he's able to do that. Plus lead the team into the end zone. I'll probably have a decision for you, tomorrow on next week. Try to get through this game first.
Go ahead, Jeff, and then Zangaro.
Doug, what went into your decision to have Zach Ertz as the placeholder, and did you consider going for two there instead?
Zach Ertz is our backup holder, and we practice with him during the week. He gets snaps. It was unfortunate. Rick put a bad snap back there, and it was on the ground, and Zach did the best he could right there, to put the ball down. After that particular play, my consideration to go for two went up just a little bit more.
Doug, if I could follow up too, how much were Zach and Rick able to practice on the sideline before they went in?
You know what? I got with Coach Phipp to ask them, to get some. I don't know how many snaps they got, but I never did see them because I was into the game obviously, and on the defensive side, I was just so I can't answer the question. I didn't see it.
Steve and John McMullen.
Hey, Doug, I know you see Jalen in practice and you have every day for a while now, but are there things that you just don't know about a player until he's in these game situations? And what have you learned about Jalen in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah. You never really know much about guys until they play, I think what he's done, what he's capable of doing. Obviously, he's a motivated athlete, motivated quarterback. He's driven, and that's a good thing because he's a self-starter. Great leadership ability, obviously, and plays, as I said, he plays tough mentally and physically, and you saw today how well he could throw, from the pocket and then obviously outside the pocket. So. He's doing a good job. I would say that there's still room to grow. Obviously, just learning the details and of our game, and he can get better there. But gave us an opportunity to win today.
John and then Tim McManus.
Hey, Doug. To kind of follow up on that a little bit, did you learn anything falling down 16-0? Just the adversity that presents to a starting quarterback, especially one in his second game. Did you learn anything about Jalen from that perspective?
Well, I just felt if we just stuck to our game plan, that we could work ourselves back into the game. I mean, we self-destructed, man, in the first quarter. Block punt, we had the safety. It was just mistakes, penalties. We lined up wrong a couple times offensively. It just self-inflicted things in the first quarter that just set us back, and this has kind of been our what's kind of plagued us all season is just these types of mistakes, and we got it corrected obviously, and we climbed ourselves back out of it and put ourselves in that position to win the game at the end.
Tim and then Rob Motti.
Hey, Doug, there was a report today that the Carson would want to move on from the Eagles if this current situation continues. Wanted to get your reaction to that and ask if you've talked to him about
my reaction is, I tell you this: Carson has done everything we've asked him to do. He's a pro. He's engaging. He's helping Jalen, and so he's doing everything that we're asking him to do right now. I get it, and I understand it's a frustrating situation probably for him, but at the same time, I also see him helping Jalen and helping our offense, and that's what he's doing, during these games. So, yeah, I don't, I don't know much about the other stuff.
Rob and then Martin Frank.
Before I get into my question, Doug, I actually also reported that Carson did not say that, and he doesn't want out of Philly. But my question was, Jalen didn't get sacked last week, got sacked 6 times today, 2 tough ones there in the fourth quarter when you guys got down to the 11. What were you seeing that was different between last week and this week that led to some of those sacks?
Well, I mean, listen, they had a chance to watch Jalen from last week, right? They had some film on him and change their pass rush lanes and do some things a little bit differently. They pressured a little more with 5 guys, and so we had more one-on-one matchups up front, and just a couple times we just got beat, and that's going to happen, and we'll learn from it, move on.
Martin and then Zach Berman.
Hey, Doug, obviously without 3 of your 4 starters in the secondary, I mean, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins had pretty big games. But, I mean, was there anything that you liked, seeing like from Jaquette and also Epps? I mean, they forced the 2 turnovers, deep inside your territory and everything. I mean, just how, they played overall despite being so shorthanded.
I'll tell you something. My hat's off to these guys. Put in a tough situation against a really good football team with great skill and ability, as they do. Arizona does, on offense, and they battled their tails off. And these are guys that they're going up against that are these guys are solid NFL players. DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, I mean, Christian Kirk. The guys have really good skill, and I thought our guys battled, and gave us some opportunities there. I mean, we created some turnovers, some takeaways, and again, my hat is off to these guys for what they did, and it's just going to make them better. It's going to make us better, I think, moving forward, and having these young guys, play as much as they have.
We have time for one more, so we'll end it here with Zach.
Hey, Doug, this is your 9th loss of the season. You haven't had that since 2016. I know I know you're caught up in the week-to-week nature of it and adjusting to the offense with Jalen. But what's your perspective about how the season has turned out at this point?
Well, Zach, it's not where we want to be. We start out the season with a lot of expectations, high expectations and hopes and aspirations and goals to, put ourselves in a position to win the NFC East at the beginning of the year and play for a playoff spot, and it just hasn't happened. It's been disappointing there, and we've had our share of injury obviously this season, and the mistakes that keep sort of compiling each week. I mean, these are things that I've got to look at and get corrected, and that falls on me to do that, and that's why it's disappointing, personally from my standpoint. I know the guys are disappointed, and because they see how hard they work and how hard, the amount of time they put in during the week to play these games, and you saw it again today. There's no quit. There's no, they keep fighting right to the end, 60-minute football games, and giving ourselves a chance to win. And, my message to the team after the game is still that. We still have, we have 2 football games left, and anything is possible, and we got to continue to work, and that's what we're going to do.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, that's Eagles head coach Doug Peterson talking about being proud of the fight and his team, though everybody disappointed with the end result today. Ike, I'm going to come to you. Actually, no, I'm not. Jaylen Mills is at the podium, ready to take some questions. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Jalen, thanks for taking the time. We'll get started with Ed Kratz and then Mike Kay.
Hey, Jalen. I know you guys were shorthanded in the secondary today. Gave up over 500 yards, but it didn't feel like that bad of a game. How did you see the guys in the secondary battling today?
Yeah, one thing I can say is I tip my hats off to those guys. Of course, Mike, young rookie, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he played really, really well. He competed. He wasn't scared, and that's what you want to see. Also, Kevon as well, and even Rowe, taking on that role, knowing that he is our slot guy and even playing, some outside corner as well. So, at the end of the day, got to just, watch the film, make the corrections, and we got a heavyweight fight coming up, this next weekend.
Mike Kay and then Les.
Jalen, what went into the decision to keep you at safety? Was there any conversation about moving you to corner, and why do you think that was the right move?
Yeah, I'm always available to play corner, regardless of any situation. If somebody goes down, actually when Kevon did go down, I did end up moving to corner. Then he came back and I went back to safety. When you got an offense like this, and they got, tight ends who, play like wide receivers, and you got running backs who catch the ball out the backfield, and even that quarterback who can make plays with his legs. I just think as far as the scheme goes, I think they felt it was best fit for me to play safety this game.
Les and then Chris Murray.
Sorry there, Jalen. Hi, Jalen. You had the one play on the short throw to the tight end where he was at the sideline and you couldn't get him. What exactly happened there?
I just missed a tackle. I gotta wrap up. That's it. I'm a better player than that, and everybody has bad plays. I think at the end of the day, I was always told, by veteran guys, don't let one bad play determine the outcome of the game. It was early in the game, and I made a lot more better tackles throughout the game.
Thank you,
Chris and then Mike Sealski.
Yeah, Jalen, these last 2 weeks, do you guys feel like you're playing with a lot of energy, a lot more enthusiasm, especially with Jalen Hurts at quarterback? Can a young quarterback affect the team on the other side of the ball, would you say?
I would say we've been playing with energy and effort and things like that. One thing I can say about Hurts is he's dialed in for sure. I don't feel as far as defense goes, because that's the only thing I can really speak upon is our energy has shifted up more because Hurts has been in. We've been playing with effort. We've been playing with energy throughout this whole year.
Mike and then Pat Gallen.
Yeah, Jalen, DeAndre Hopkins made some plays today that most wide receivers aren't going to make. How do you try to defend it? What do you do? What sort of tactics and things do you try to do to hold a guy like that down? What did you try today?
Yeah, you already know that coming to this game, Kyle is he's gonna force feed him. Regardless if we had injuries at our cornerback position or not. He's top 3 receiver in this league right now, and going into this game, he's gonna make some catches, some crazy catches, and he's gonna make some plays. At the end of the day, you get up, you get one clap for the bad guys, and it's the next snap.
We'll take one more here, so go ahead, Pat.
Jalen, how much are you getting a chance to watch what Jalen Hurts is doing offensively, and how impressed are you by what he's doing in just his second game?
Yeah, definitely watching him when I can after we're making our adjustments and things like that on the sideline. Definitely standing up and just watching him, and not only him but also the offense as well. He's making a lot of great plays, not only with his arm, but you guys see him with his leg on the touchdown. We had a couple third downs. He's scrambling, just moving the chains. And when you see something like that, especially from a young guy, that just shows you that he has confidence in both, his arm and his legs.
Great. Thanks for taking the time, Jalen.
Thank y'all.
All right, that's Eagles defensive back Jaylen Mills after today's matchup. Of course, giving some praise to Jalen Hurts and the young quarterback and what they saw from him today. Also praise for the young players in the secondary. We heard as well from Coach Doug Peterson coming into this game, the injuries in the secondary, a big storyline. Coach specifically saying, my hat's off to those guys for battling shorthanded against the Arizona offense that is known for being this dynamic, pass-heavy. Some of the top receivers in the NFL on the outside, of course, DeAndre Hopkins, the household name there, that Doug saying they battled and gave us opportunities on offense to stay in the game. And specifically, and Fran, I'm going to ask for your thoughts on this as well, with Michael Jacquet and Marcus Epps, those two drawing some praise, but Jacquet especially, the rookie who didn't play last week, who signed with the practice squad not too long ago. I thought he made a big impact in today's game. What did you think from what you saw from him?
Yeah, I mean, he was a young guy that even back in the summer in training camp seemed to be kind of flashing almost every day, right? He always did something to kind of show up. And this is a guy that, look, he's kind of flashed early on this season and then getting the extended playing time against one of the best receivers in the NFL. I just love the way he battled. I mean, he comes out, he's got two forced fumbles, one on Hopkins that you could see right here, another on a sack fumble later against Kyler Murray. As Jaylen Mills mentioned, you're going to give up plays in this league, and especially against a talent like Hopkins. The ability to kind of bounce back from that, I think, is a good sign for a young corner.
Well, yeah, and I thought that what I especially liked is you did see him give up those big plays, but still he was battling with all of his heart down the stretch against DeAndre Hopkins. I'd love to see that fearlessness from a young guy, especially in a matchup on a big stage where, look, a couple weeks ago, we probably would have thought that would have been a Darius Slay DeAndre Hopkins matchup. And look, next man up, this is your opportunity, and to not back down from it, I was really impressed with his confidence there as well. What did you think about what we saw from some of the other young guys on defense who had some opportunity today with some of the veteran, more established guys out with injury?
I think when you look at Marcus Epps, certainly that interception was big, but I thought he made a couple nice tackles up down near the line of scrimmage that were impressive. I thought TJ Edwards had a couple nice sticks in the run game. There was a 3rd and short play where I remember he came down in the hole and made a stop. That was impressive. The defensive line continues to come in waves, and Alex Singleton continues to flash as well. And we say that every single week. He continues to play each and every snap for this defense. I'm pretty sure it'll be 5 weeks in a row now that Alex Singleton has played every single snap defensively. He showed up a number of times in this game as well. So there are guys at all 3 levels that are shining. It's a matter of continuing to see that level of improvement on a week-to-week basis as these guys continue to come along.
So before we came into this game, your key to the game, of course, was containing Kyler Murray. You broke down the different ways that the Eagles could put pressure on him, especially up front. How would you, before, of course, we know, Fran, you have not looked at the film yet, but at first thought, how would you evaluate how the defense was able to attack, especially up front against Kyler Murray in this offense?
I thought that they really impacted him, and I thought that it showed up in a number of ways. Now, there was a streak, I believe, where he completed 12 or 13 passes in a row. He threw for over 400 yards. A lot of those plays, the yards after catch, and we talked about this, right? It's a yards after catch offense in Arizona. You've got to be able to make those tackles at the catch point. Don't let the 9-yard plays become 40-plus yard plays. Too many of those in this game. DeAndre Hopkins had a 44-yarder on 3rd and 8 that should have been a 9-yard catch and out of bounds, right? You have to stop those kinds of plays. But that being said, I thought they did a good job. And honestly, one of the plays that we broke down in that key to the game, they ran that exact blitz, and it resulted in the sack fumble by Michael Jacquet. So they certainly did some nice things, just not enough, obviously, because Kyler Murray still threw for over 400 yards in this contest.
It's always really fun when you break something down and then it happens in the game. It's like we almost know what we're doing. It's pretty cool. Another thing I want to touch on here to go back over to the offense, and look, we're talking a lot about Jalen Hurts, but I think one of the things that really impressed me that we haven't touched on yet is we've talked a lot about the poise, but this clutch factor. We talked about how the offense started slow. Doug Peterson, we just heard from him, said, look, we really shot ourselves in the foot there in the beginning. We didn't come out very strong. The fact that they they were able to avoid this, oh no, here we go again feeling that we have seen throughout this season and turn things around. But just the fact that he made big plays on 3rd and long, on 4th down, conversions, the touchdowns, again, like I said earlier in the show, 3 of his passing touchdowns, 2 on 3rd down, 1 on 4th down. I would consider this a clutch factor, that in the past when the Eagles are maybe in 3rd and long or 4th down situations, you feel a little bit more nervous, where Hurts was able to convert in those moments. How big of a factor is that clutch factor for him?
I think ultimately it just goes back to a term that we've thrown around already on the show, and that's that poise. And that was something early in Carson Wentz's career. The Eagles were outstanding on 3rd down. I mean, ridiculously good back in 2017 and 2018, converting on 3rd down, converting in the red zone, those high leverage situations, that situational football. The Eagles offensive staff, they pride themselves on being able to execute in those scenarios. They have not been able to do that this year for most of the season, but seeing Jalen operate in those instances, certainly a good sign for a guy that's making his first start, his second start, getting his real first taste of NFL action. It's just great to be able to see him come in and execute in those moments.
Okay, and with this offense, look, we talked a lot of yards in this game. Let me pull this up right here. 422 total yards for this Eagles offense. Most of those through the air. 338 of those yards through the air, 117 on the ground. The two contributing rushers there were Jalen Hurts with the 63 yards and then Miles Sanders with 64. And actually, speaking of Jalen Hurts, he is going to talk to the media right now, so we are going to send it over there.
Hey, Jalen, thanks for taking the time. We'll get started with Bo Wolf and then John Clark.
Hey, Jalen, how did start 2 go for you compared to start 1? And what are the plays that you're going to be thinking about as you sort of lament the loss?
I look back on this game and I think about it, it's simply not being enough. It's simply not being enough. We're a good enough team where we control our own destiny. Go out there and left money on the table, missed opportunities and self-inflicted wounds. And I could care less to hear any of the young stuff, second start stuff, rookie stuff. We have a standard we want to play to. I personally have a standard I want to play to, and you just got to find a way to get it done. It's definitely a learning experience, but it's something that we can definitely learn from. Definitely.
John Clark and Chris Franklin.
Hey, Jalen, after the game, Doug was talking about your poise that you showed, and you're down 16-0 in your first road start in the NFL. What were you thinking? What was your communication with your teammates about staying in this thing?
I think we never lost belief. We never lost belief in one another. Just going out there and putting the pieces together. Like I said before, there's a lot of self-inflicted wounds. It all comes down to that E-word, execution. And that's something that we didn't do consistent enough to win this game. So it's something we have the opportunity to learn from. All external factors don't matter to us. We're worried about us getting better as a team, putting ourselves in the best position for our future.
Chris Franklin and Jeff Skversky.
Hey, Jalen, the offense has been averaging over 400 yards a game since you've been at quarterback. Do you feel that you should be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season?
I want to win. I want to win. That's something we didn't do today. That's something that you have to, ask coach. I have an opportunity now. I want to win ball games. I want to do what I can to help this team do that. And it wasn't enough today. So back to the drawing boards I go, and we go as a team. We're going to find a way to, we're going to learn from our mistakes. That's the great part about this. You learn from your mistakes and you move forward and you continue to build. It's a great team we played, a great quarterback, great receivers out there, great defensive backs out there, athletic D-line. So it's a great challenge for us. We came up short tonight, but a learning experience.
Jeff Skversky and Jeff McLean.
Hey, Jalen, how much more comfortable did you feel in this start compared to last week against the Saints? Do you feel like things slowed down for you a little bit more at all?
Everything comes with time.
everything comes with time. The more you experience something, it always helps, and it's always beneficial. That's why I always say, everything is a learning experience. Everything's an opportunity to learn. So, like I learned from last week, like we learned from last week as a team, we'll do the same thing from this game moving forward and prepare ourselves to play a good football team in the Cowboys.
Jeff McLean and then Ed Benkin.
Jalen, can you describe the, what were the calls on those third and fourth down plays, the last two plays? Was it for you basically to just throw jump balls into the end zone, or was there another part of the plan there?
Some of them were. We had the opportunity. I took 2 sacks. Can't take 2 sacks in any type of 2-minute drill. Try getting the ball out, getting it out fast, just making quick decisions. But, opportunity, we got great receivers out there and giving them opportunity to make a play. Athletic guys jumping, making a play. And, the balls fell in our favor once this year, not today, though. So, opportunity for us to learn, me to learn, and self-reflect on this game and this experience and move forward and trying to do my part moving forward and helping this team.
Ed Benkin and then Dave Zangaro.
Hi, Jalen. There are things rookie quarterbacks a lot of times have to be able to get a sixth sense for, like pocket presence, being able to throw the ball away. How have you been able to pick that up so quickly, adjusting to the speed of the game of the NFL?
Me being able to throw the ball away, get it out fast, those things that you're applauding me for were not enough. It wasn't enough today. I think I hate losing more than I love to win, and it's not a great feeling, but it's a learning lesson. It's a lesson, and everything can be better moving forward. I get to reflect on it. Got a nice little plane ride back to think about some things and back to work.
Steve and then Zach Berman.
Jalen, we saw you on the sideline quite a bit talking with Carson. What has he been able to do for you on the sideline? How much does that help getting his perspective on things?
It's a lot of great input from him, from Nate, Coach Press, Marty, Coach Peterson. Everybody's working as a collective group to get this thing rolling. So it's great to see everybody pushing and everybody sticking together to try and achieve a common goal and winning. We all want to win. We're all trying to do whatever we can for this team to win.
Zach and then Les Bowen.
Hey, Jalen, it was a different style of game than it was last week. I know you take no solace in losing, but what does it say about your development as a quarterback that you're throwing 40-plus times, 300-plus yards, and going toe-to-toe with Kyler Murray?
That's a question you have to ask Coach. I can't sit there and talk about myself. I mean, those 300 yards didn't win us the game, whatever it was. So that's what matters. We can go out there and throw 5 picks, fumble the ball 3 times, do whatever. It can be 2-0, and we win. If we score more points than them, that's all that matters. So it's a great opportunity for us to learn. Great opportunity for us to learn, and we will learn. We will be stronger moving forward.
We have time for one more, so we'll wrap it up here with Les.
There was a play there late where you actually fumbled the ball, picked it up, and completed a 14-yard pass. What were you thinking during that? And it sure looked like at that time that you were just going to be able to do pretty much anything you wanted out
there. Just out there playing football.
It was a pass to Goddard.
Trying to go out there and win the ball game. You can't ask for a better situation. Having the ball last, having the ball in your hands, the last play of the game, last drive of the game. That's what you want. That's what you want. Great ones. So it's an opportunity for us to learn. A learning experience for myself, for this football team, and we'll be stronger from it moving forward.
Thanks for taking the time, Jaylen.
Thank you.
All right, that's Jalen Hurts after today's game, and I think the line that is going to stay with me is that he said, "I think I hate losing more than I like to win, and it doesn't matter if I have all these yards. We didn't win the game. It's not good enough, but we will learn from this." We are now about to listen to Brandon Graham share his thoughts on this game. Let's take a listen.
Hey, BG, thanks for taking the time. We'll get started here with Ed Kratz and then Martin Frank. Or Martin, if you're ready, go ahead and jump in.
I'm here. BG, you there? I just want to ask you about, Kyler Murray and, the game that he had. How was he able to kind of, do what he did against you today?
Well, we talked about it. We extended some drives on ourselves because of penalties. And then, he just made some good plays, especially because he can run around back there, extend plays. And, they capitalize on the plays that they made.
We'll go Martin and then Rob Maddie.
Hey, BG. You guys obviously fell, into that 16-0 hole. What does it say about you guys, to keep coming back? Have a chance to win at the end. Both defensively and offensively.
I feel like we had a lot of opportunities in that game to go ahead, and we just didn't do it. We waited to the end. It was just too late, the last play, obviously. But I know that, it was tough. It was going to be a battle the whole game. We knew that coming in. We knew what they like to do. They was just making plays, third down, penalties sometimes crept in there, and then sometimes they just made good plays, good 50-50 ball, with 10, especially the one that he scored on. I felt like it was good coverage, but, they just was making their plays when it came to them, and, we just ended up losing.
Rob and John McMullen.
Hey, BG, you guys were in position to, if you won, you would have had control of your playoff hopes. Were you aware that going into the game that Washington had lost to Seattle, and this is a spot that you've been in the past and you've been successful? You still have a chance, but you're going to need help now the final 2 weeks. How disappointing is that?
It's not that disappointing because, like you said, we got a little light at the end of the tunnel. We just hoping that, somebody mess it up next week and we go out and we do what we supposed to do and let it come down to that last game. And hopefully, we the ones that had that shirt on in the end. But like you said, only disappointing part is we had opportunity today to go ahead and we didn't take it, we didn't capitalize on it. But it's a lot that we can learn from that, and I'm glad we got a little light at this end of the tunnel because it's definitely motivation for when we come back on Wednesday.
John and Mike Sealski.
Hey, BG, it was one of those games you guys gave up over 500 yards, but you also made a lot of plays. You had those two red zone turnovers, and the young guys, Mike Jaquette, Marcus Epps. How proud are those guys coming in difficult circumstance? You mentioned Hopkins. Jaquette had great coverage on that play. Those guys kind of battled all afternoon.
Man, you just keep on learning about your team and the depth of your team. It's a lot of promise with these guys. These guys was ready for their opportunity. Obviously, people gonna make plays. They get paid too. But like you said, they was in position to make them plays, and I really feel like they continue to keep on stacking on them days. And man, we got a lot of good things to come. But I think that we ain't done yet, man. We got 2 more. Let's see what happens. We went out. Hopefully some things happen the way we want to, get that shirt, and man, we 0-0 again, but we got to go get it done. We can't keep spotting people points in the beginning, because that's what hurt us today. We spotted 16 before you knew it. It was 16-0, and we was already down. We felt good coming in. Everybody had the energy, but like you said, we just can't spot anybody points.
Mike and Al Thompson.
Yeah, Brandon, a couple of their touchdowns were, incredible catches by Fitz and DeAndre. Coming into a game like this, do you almost plan for or expect plays like that? Do you just say, okay, they're going to get theirs at some point and we have to limit it? How do you kind of mentally prepare or even schematically prepare for what those guys can do?
I mean, we see it happen with other guys and other teams, but we go into the game saying that we're gonna play our game, and if it happens, next play, flush it. It's okay. They're gonna make their plays, but I'm telling you, we gonna make more. And so that's just our attitude going out there. You can't play scared. You got to go out there and be aggressive and play your technique and show your athleticism and how you got here and why you out there. And so I think people was in position, but like you say, man, it's guys that get paid a lot of money to do what they do, and they came down with it today. It sucked because those guys battled their butt off, but at the same time, I really do believe that we put ourselves in a good position to win. We just didn't come through and do it.
Go ahead, Alan, then Chris Murray.
Brandon, I've heard you talk all year about pre-snap penalties. When you commit a penalty in the heat of battle, it's one thing, but you've talked about it in the past, pre-snap penalties, and how frustrating that is. Can you talk about why they keep happening and how frustrating that is when you're about to get off the field and then a pre-snap penalty takes that away?
It sucks. It sucks, man. I mean, you can't really control that part of it. I mean, I know for me, I got to lock in a little more. I was a little too ready to get off and go make a play. And you gotta key the ball. At my position, I gotta key the ball. When that ball snap, I gotta go. But I can't listen to the voice. Sometimes you fall for some of the hard counts. I mean, it happens in the game, especially if they want you to attack the way we attack. It's just you got to stay ready. You got to stay. I mean, it just happens. But I do feel like that's part of the game, and we just try to eliminate it as much as we can. And it sucks that some of it came up big for us today.
We have time for two more, so we'll go Chris and then Bo. Or Bo, if you're ready, go ahead.
Brandon, if you guys don't get the help that you're hoping to get over the past the next two games and you don't make the playoffs, what do you think you'll look back on as the big what if? What is the regret that you'll have about this season?
I don't know. Ask me that in 2 games. I have something for you, man. But right now, I'm focused on trying to win this thing. We still got opportunity. I ain't trying to even think about what ifs. You know what I'm saying? We gonna finish out on a great note. Put ourselves in a position, and hopefully things go our way.
Fair enough.
Thanks for taking the time today, BG.
Appreciate you.
Who are we talking to?
Hey, Greg, thanks for taking the time today. We'll get started here with Bo Wolf and then Ed Kratz.
Hey, Greg, can you take us through the touchdown catch? I guess the one that was reviewed, and what was your conversation like with Cliff Kingsbury over there?
Jalen just made a great throw. I ran a corner route, was able to get my feet down, and he was just messing with me, saying that my feet was out, and that was it.
Go ahead, Ed, and then Martin.
Hey, Greg, you fell down 16-0. What's Jalen Hurts doing when you're down 6-0? What's his approach like when that happens?
He's encouraging. He's poised. He's been a leader. And he's just encouraging everybody that we need to go out there and pick it up. And that's exactly what we needed to do at that time. We can't continue to start slow, and we just have to get better at starting fast.
Martin and Ramani.
Hey, Greg, you have 3 touchdown receptions with Jalen at quarterback. What kind of chemistry have you guys developed in such a short time, and how are you guys able to do that?
I would just say the trust, the repetition in practice, the conversations. He did a great job tonight of finding me, and he threw a great ball, and made my job very easy.
Rob and then Zach Berman.
Greg, on the series before the last one, when you guys got down to the 11-yard line and then took 2 sacks, and then after that, the 2 throws that were into the end zone to Dallas, what did you see there? What was your role on those plays, and what did you see?
I was in on the 2 sacks. The 2 that he threw to Dallas, I wasn't in. We just tried to make a play. We tried to, tie the game up, and we just came up short. We just had to do a better job of executing.
Back and then Bo.
Hey, Greg, from your perspective, why has the offense been better these last 2 weeks?
I would say it starts in practice. We all talk to each other about what we need to do, and that's being more urgent, and definitely more consistent. And we harped that in practice. We started off slow today, and that's just something we have to go back to practice and fix.
Go Bo and then Chris Murray.
Greg, Quez had a couple big plays today. What have you seen from him in practice over the past few weeks? And, you've been in the situation before of being a young guy, getting your chance. What kind of juice does that give you when you're playing on game day?
Just like I said, the reps in practice. He does the same thing in practice. He's a very explosive guy, young, great talent, and he showed it tonight. And we just all encourage him every single day to just keep working hard. And that's what he's been doing, and it showed tonight.
All right, we have time for 2 more, so we'll go Chris and then Dave Zangaro.
Yeah, I was going to kind of follow up on the energy that he brings to this team. It seemed like in these last 2 weeks, you guys have played with a little bit of extra pep in your step or something like that, lack of a better word. What does he bring to the table to get you guys going?
He brings that explosive feel to the game, and that's exactly what we need. We have a lot of explosive receivers, and he's definitely one of them. He made a great move, and, ain't nobody going to catch him down the sideline, and, the rest is history.
Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Greg, when we talk to Jalen Hurts, he's such a really laid-back guy. Kind of wondering how that translates onto the field. I mean, does he kind of just have a different level of intensity that we don't get to see off of it?
Most definitely. He's a whole different person whenever he's on the field. He's very competitive, and I think that's where it all comes from. He's aggressive. He likes to take shots. He loves to play aggressive, and that's what you need, and that's what we ask for, and that's definitely what he's giving us.
Thanks for taking the time today, Greg.
Thank you.
All right, that's Greg Ward after today's game, sharing his thoughts on the offense and on his connection with Jalen Hurts and just what a competitor Jalen Hurts is, which we've heard reiterated tonight by several players as well as Coach Doug Peterson. We are going to take a quick break here on the postgame show. On the other side, we have the Ricoh review for you, as well as the Jameson nightcap and the nominees for the Toyota Player of the Week. Stay with us.
Do you remember?
It's not discount furniture. It's quality furniture at a discount.
Bob's Discount.
Get Bob's Discount!
Only at Bob's Discount Furniture.
All right, Eagles receiver Quez Watkins got his first career touchdown today to get the Eagles on the board in the second quarter. It was on 3rd and 20. The first touchdown pass for Quez Watkins is the subject of today's Ricoh review with Fran Duffy. Fran, take it away.
And right on cue, as I said, the screen game did not end there for the Eagles offense because their first big touchdown comes from rookie wide receiver Quez Watkins on a wide receiver screen. This is just a simple jailbreak where you're going to get Quez Watkins working inside here, and you've got a bunch of blockers releasing immediately from the offensive line, from the tight end, Dallas Goedert. That's why they call it a jailbreak, because you're immediately releasing everybody from the offensive line. You're trying to spring this receiver free. But I want you to see what happens here as Jalen Hurts takes the snap, delivers this throw to Quez Watkins, and I want you to see what he's looking at. Yeah, he's got some white jerseys out in front, but you got a bunch of red jerseys here, a bunch of the defense. They're all trying to retrace and lay a big hit. So all Quez Watkins is going to do is put his foot in the ground and work back towards the sideline, away from his blockers for sure, but he's just going to trust his speed, and we can let this run. And you can see where those jets really come in handy here for Quez Watkins as he takes off down the sideline. 32 yards on 3rd and 20. Eagles reach the end zone through the screen game here, get on the board for their first touchdown of the game. Awesome to see Quez Watkins on just his second career catch take it the distance.
Now is your chance to vote for the Toyota Player of the Week. Go to PhiladelphiaEagles.com/Toyota Player of the Week to cast your vote and get a chance at a brand new Toyota. This week's nominees: safety Marcus Epps, quarterback Jalen Hurts, and wide receiver Greg Ward. Epps with a big game today. 7 tackles, including an interception in the end zone that we just saw right there, saving the touchdown in the 3rd quarter. Jalen Hurts, you know what he did, showing that poise, throwing for 338 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air, 0 interceptions, as well as a rushing touchdown, 63 yards on the ground for Hurts as well, including this show-stopping pass. And then Greg Ward, 2 touchdowns today for the quarterback turned wide receiver in the NFL who clearly has a connection with the quarterbacks. 2 touchdowns for Greg Ward today. Guys, this is a little bit of a tough one for me between Greg Ward and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, of course, the incumbent Toyota Player of the Week, but I think Jalen Hurts still has to get my vote for what he did today. Just showing, again, that poise. This is if poise is on your bingo card, we've got bingo a few times during our show tonight, and just putting the Eagles offense in position to win it at the very end. Throwing from the pocket with precision, accuracy, calm. I'm very impressed with what I saw from the rookie tonight. Ike, what about you? Who's getting your vote?
Yeah, I don't know how you can go with anyone else but Jalen Hurts. 2nd game in a row, the rookie has shined. I mean, each game he's gotten better. You mentioned 3 passing touchdowns, including a rushing touchdown. 4 total touchdowns today, over 300 yards passing. Add in 60 yards rushing, and then throw in there Amy and Fran. No turnovers for the 2nd week in a row. I don't know how you vote for anybody else besides Jalen Hurts after today's performance.
And Fran, I'm going to guess you're going to make it unanimous based on the side eye I was getting when I tried to possibly add a little suspense to who could get it.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, 4 touchdowns on the day, 3 throwing, 1 running. Yeah, I think you got to take the suspense out the window here. I would say it's Jalen Hurts for sure.
Just trying to give the folks a little more drama. If we haven't had enough today in this
We've
game,
had enough drama
excitement
tonight, all right? We've had enough drama.
There's not enough. I'm just trying to crank it up to the next level. All right, let's take a look at next week's opponent here with the Jameson Nightcap. It is, you want to talk about drama, how about a rivalry for you, the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 5-9. They are 3rd in the NFC East, but of course, this game really a must-win for both teams. The Cowboys coming off a win tonight, 41 points on the 49ers, taking the win 41-33. They lead this series overall 66-53. The last time that these teams met, though, the Eagles did have a decisive victory, 23-9, though that was with the backup quarterback in there. They're going to see Andy Dalton this time, and of course they're going to be in at Jerry World in Dallas on the road, and I think they've actually got fans there too. So some hostile environment in 2020, if that's the case. Ike, what do you think about this matchup and the challenge? It's going to be a different Dallas team than they faced before, but also a different Eagles team, I guess.
Yeah, no Ben DiNucci, no Carson Wentz. The last time these 2 teams met, it was 2 different starting quarterbacks. Andy Dalton will be in there this time around. We'll see if Ezekiel Elliott is able to go next week. He didn't play today. Dallas Cowboys with a surprising win today at home over the San Francisco 49ers. So I expect next week's game to be a typical hard-fought NFC East battle. Jalen Hurts getting a chance to go home to his home state of Texas. Very important game, playoff implications. What else can we ask for late December? Eagles-Cowboys.
That's right. That's a great point about Jalen Hurts. Look, if you don't want any more drama, I'm sorry. There's going to be more this weekend. Just the stage is set for it. And let me add, with that Cowboys victory today, it was wild at the end. It was an onside kick that CeeDee Lamb took to the house to give Dallas that final score there. Fran, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be obviously two different looking teams to what we saw earlier this season at Lincoln Financial Field. Will be a lot on the line. The Eagles need to win out to go to the playoffs. I think barring any ties around the division, they certainly will need to win these next two games to close the year out. So, definitely a must-win scenario going on the road to face Dallas.
Yeah, it's going to be down to the wire, a lot of drama. The Eagles still in this one. All right, we're going to wrap it up here for tonight's post-game show, but we will be right back here next Sunday, as always, for the kickoff show, 45 minutes before kickoff. Kickoff Sunday for the Eagles-Cowboys, 4:25 Eastern, so we'll be here at 3:40 p.m. on the kickoff show presented by Exalta, and then as soon as the game is over, again, the post-game show presented by Ricoh. Should be an interesting week around here. Lots to listen in on, lots to look forward to, plenty of content right here. You know where to find all the inside access on everything Philadelphia Eagles as we lead up to Eagles-Cowboys. Everybody have a fantastic week. Have a very happy holiday, and we will see you next Sunday.